Then what is a ratio? Ratio is a way to compare two quantities by division. There are three ways to write a ratio. First one is to use just the word 2 here. And here, A and B is called term. And second way is to use column. A column B. This is column. And you can read it A to B. And third one is to use a fraction, A over B. Yeah, it's the same with A divided by B. Then let me give you an example. Here we have 3 circles and 4 squares. And let's find the ratio of circles to squares. How many circles do we have? Yeah, 3 circles. And how many squares? 4 squares. And you can simply use 2 here to compare 3 circles to 4 squares. And you can also use column here, and you can read 3 to 4. And finally you can use a fraction, 3 over 4. In ratio, the order of the quantities is really important. So let me prove it. And what is the ratio of squares to circles? How many squares do we have? 4 squares and 3 circles. And we could say 4 to 3 and 4 over 3. Can you see the difference? Here we found the ratio of circles to squares. But here we find the ratio of squares to circles. Here the order is opposite and the result is totally different. So when you use a ratio, be careful of the order. As I said, the ratio is a method to compare two quantities. Then how could we compare them? We can say there are circles. The number of circles is 3/4 as many as the number of squares. And here, the number of squares is 4/3 as many as the number of circles. That's the way to compare two different quantities. Until now, we've studied what the ratio is and how we can express it. Then let's move on to the next concept. Here we're gonna talk about feature in a ratio. In ratio, two quantities should have the same units. If you want to compare centimeter to other quantities, the other quantities should have centimeter also. For example, if you want to compare 7 centimeter to something, it should have centimeter. Then let me give you an example. Let's look at the example. What is the ratio of 6 inches to 8 feet? As I said, in ratio, two quantities should have the same units, but here it's inch and it's a foot. We should make it the same. Then we can change feet into inches. Actually, 12 inches equals to a foot. Then you can change 6 feet into 6 multiplied by 12 inches. Sorry for a mistake. It's not 6, it's 8. And it's 8 inches. Then now we compare 6 inches to 96 inches, which comes from 8 multiplied by 12. We can simply say 6 to 96 or 6 over 96. Here we can simplify this form. It could be divided by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1, and colon here. And 96 divided by 6 is 16. So you can write it down like 1 to 16 and 1 over 16.